got this kid's smartwatch here. They go by a lot of different names: Limfo, Cinepro, Q50, GDB, Cinepro. Lots of different kinds, but they're all pretty much the same thing. They all have the same basic functions. Some may have different options a little bit. They may operate differently. It appears that all of them use this SE tracking app that works with your smartphone. I'll put a link in the description where you can get one. I'll also put a link to a similar watch that has some better reviews than this one. And that's the VTech. I'd be interested to try that one. It helps me out when you use those links to purchase those if you're interested in doing that, because it takes a while to make these videos. The directions that we received are pretty rough. They've got broken English, pretty difficult to make your way through. It's almost like you're better off just watching some of the other videos. I wouldn't count on any official technical support for these or anything like that, and please be aware that you'll need to acquire your own SIM card to operate these from your wireless communications provider. Most all of them work. It can be a voice SIM card or just a data SIM card. If you don't mind just using it for GPS, you can use just a data SIM card, and you can just send messages back and forth without actually having a conversation in real time, which you can also do with these. It works with this mobile application, SE Tracker. If you look it up on Google Play, you have to type in S-E Tracker, otherwise it won't come up. There's I don't recommend the SE Tracker 2 app that comes up. It pretty much does the same thing, but for some reason it doesn't work with the notifications on our phones. But the standard SE Tracker app appears to provide notifications, so it works out pretty well. I'd be interested in trying out one of the VTech watches that I've got linked in the description, since it seems to have real good reviews. Maybe a little bit more user friendly. That may be why this watch gets some pretty rough reviews, even though a lot of people have purchased them, it looks like. So if you want to buy me one of those to review that one, go for it. But this one seems to work great for me. I'll show you a little bit about it. Alright, after you've taken the 4 screws out of the back plate, that just comes right off. There's a little tab that you can just pull the battery right up so you can see underneath. That's where the SIM card goes. And so there's not enough room to slide it in there, so what this is made to do is this plate slides back and forth. So if you should be able to just put your fingernail in there and you should hear it click back, and then it just raises up. So you see there's that little hole that you put your fingernail in. Just pull it back and it just comes right up. Then you can get your SIM card in there. This is one for my phone, so it's a little bit smaller than it's supposed to be, but it should work. I'm just gonna, and then that plate just comes down and it should slide back over. Should slide back over now. That may work where I've got it there. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, so that comes right back down. When you first download the app, I've already got this one turned on and everything. It's going, got the SIM card in there and everything. When you first come up, you got to register it, and so you can actually click on that little square right there and you can scan the back of the watch, and then what you can do is you can then you put in your own email, your own nickname, gets kind of like a username. Then the phone number is just for password retrieval, and then you can put in your own password. I'm already in there, so I'm gonna log in, and so in this is the main page that comes up. So this is the chat thing where you can send messages back and forth. I'll go into that a little bit later. The map is also uses GPS on the SIM card, so you can go in there and see where it's registered last and that kind of thing. You can set up a geofence with the GPS message. That's when you hold down the SOS button. That, of course, that also sends it to your to your phone, actually, to the text. It actually sends out a text. You can also set alarms for this phone. Everything that's done in the phone is done from the app. You don't do a whole lot by pressing the buttons on the phone. Let's see. And so you go in there to the first thing you'll probably start doing a little bit is setting up the settings and that kind of thing. You can set up the SOS numbers. That's the numbers that it will send. That it'll send the text to when there's an SOS. The monitoring is actually in real time. When you do this and you put in a number and you hit OK, what it'll do, it'll actually call. If you have a voice SIM card, it'll actually call this watch, and you can listen in to what's going on in the background of this phone. Work mode, that's some technical stuff. You can set up do not disturb hours. SMS alerts is just you can turn on for whatever number you put in there. It'll send you SMS text when the batteries get low, or when you send it the SOS signal. So I've done that. The phone book is where you can have several different contacts. If you're using a voice card, you can actually dial from this watch. And of course, language, time zone, and the shutdown device is the only way that you can turn off the device once you turn this thing on. So you can't turn it off from the watch, but if you want to, without letting the battery run down or something, you can shut down the device from that. And also, let's see what next. I'll go into me, and this you can put in your personal data. Let's see, what is this? Just a little bit about yourself, so it kind of knows who you are, just for the user interface, I guess. And then the device list is just you can if you have multiple ones, you can pick nicknames for the different ones. I'll go back to the home screen. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's see, and I think that's about it. That's the main thing. And so there's a few different buttons on this one. Okay, so this button labeled SOS. This has a few different functions. If the watch is ringing, you can just press it once and turn it off. If you send a message to this watch through the app, you can listen to the message. It'll have a little message button right there, and you can listen to the message by pressing the SOS, just one quick press. Also, what this SOS button does is if you hold it down for like 5-7 seconds, I can't remember exactly what it was, what it'll do is it will send a SMS text to the phone numbers that you have set up in the app that'll say SOS and that kind of thing. Let's see, going through, I've got the three buttons over here. The center button is the power button. Of course, that's how you turn it on, but you can't turn it off with that button unless there's just no cell phone service. Like right now, if I held down the power button, it may turn off because I just don't have good cell phone service right now where I am. These watches, they don't have just real great cell phone reception. It doesn't go through walls that well, but I'm sure outside it probably works a lot better. But they're not going to be like your phone where you can get a lot better reception with those. Let's see. The number 1 button, it just says add. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that is. When you press it, the power button, what it also does, if you hold it down, Okay, it turned it off because I don't have any cell phone service. But normally if you have cell phone service, you can hold that power button down and it will, you can record a voice message while you're holding it down, just like a walkie-talkie. And then when you let go, it'll send that message to the app for whoever's got the app. Alright, so it's back on. Number 2 button is your phone book button. And so if you keep on pressing that too, you can cycle through your phone book. You can put several numbers in there as far as I know. So I've got 2 numbers in there, and if you put it on one and hold it down, let's see what happens now that I got my phone, my SIM card in there. It's gonna try and call, but it can't call because there's no reception. So I'll have to try that later now that I got my phone number in there. I may.
Please enter your password.
Okay.
Press pound.
It worked. It tried to call it's trying to call my cell phone, and so I can hang up pressing the power button. And so that's the way your kid can talk through this. I think this number 1 add button where it says add, I think that's maybe if you have multiple devices, you can link them together or something like that. It appears that number 2 is just for calling different numbers. Alright, so I'm in the app on my phone and I've sent some messages. So I'm going to click on the chat button. You can see all the records of the tests that you've done and that kind of thing. So this is the last message. I'll just click on it.
Test pressing the power button again.
And so that's one thing. If you hold down button number 1, it'll let you record a message. You can record a message and then let it go, and it says sending, but it doesn't go to the chat. And so I don't know if that's made to go to a different phone or something like that. I don't know where that's going. So use the power button to record a message. So also another thing you can do is you can record a message to send it to the watch. And so it's got this start record button, and so it's just like a walkie-talkie again. You just hold it down, test, 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 and then you let it go, and it shows that I've sent a message, and there it is, shows up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna press this SOS button, just a quick press. Try it again.
Test, test.
There it is. Kind of cuts it short, so you may want to hold that start record button down after you finish speaking. You can also do a thing where you can click on this little keyboard right there, and you can type a message also. Just press the send button, and it's going to try and send it. There it is, and it just shows up on the screen. Quick little ring, and then you can press whatever other button just to exit out of it. And what that does, if it doesn't send it, if the watch is offline, if it doesn't have any service at the time, it'll have a little red exclamation point. That means it didn't get sent to the phone. But if that happens, you can tap on it again, and it'll try and resend it again. You can do that as many times as you want. The thing about sending messages from the phone is that if you try and send a message with no service, it's not going to tell you that there's no service necessarily. Well, I take that back. If you try to send a message with the correct button, with the power button, and there's no service, it's just going to turn off the phone. And so then you know that your message didn't go through, I guess. Otherwise, it's not going to go through. The only thing you can do if you don't have any service at the time, you can hold down the SOS button, and it won't send a message, but it'll keep on trying to send text. As far as I know, it'll just keep on trying it until it gets service, and then it'll send a text through to the numbers that you have set up in the SOS.